First of all, I'd like to introduce coaching staff. I know a lot of you know him. We got one addition, but Coach Kelly, if you'll stand up, Coach Kelly, or wave your hand, that's fine. Coach Kelly's associate head coach. He works with our pitchers and also our defense. Come out for sure. One of our strengths of our team is going to be our defense. Does a great job with them. We're sound. We've got a great system, and they take a lot of pride in it also. And then Coach Black also. Coach Black works with our catchers. He's also our recruiting coordinator. He's done a tremendous job. I'll talk about some of the recruits that we've signed already. We signed in the fall for next year, the freshman class that we had this year, and some guys like that are really turning out. And he spends a lot of time on the road, a lot of time on the phone, and just does a tremendous job getting. And like I said, I'll talk about some of those athletes here in just a little bit, type of athletes we're starting to get here. So also Greg Byron. Greg comes from Canada. Greg, go ahead. All right. Greg he's volunteer. We've gone through third year here, had 3 different volunteers. The good thing is each one of them's got a coaching position, paid job that's left. So, but Greg comes on. He comes from, he's a Canadian, so we got to work through that a little bit. Talks real fast. We got to work through that a little bit. But he does a great job with our pitchers. He's in there with them and just tireless worker. And as far as working with the small detail things, so we're glad that Greg's on board with us. And like I said, a lot of work with those pitchers. We got a lot of arms. Coach Kelly, Coach Byron do a good job with those. But the state of the program, where we're at, if you go in our locker room and you take a look, when we redid the locker room in there and did some things in there, but we have a picture on the wall, and it's a picture of Jackie Robinson. And I wanted that to be first thing on the wall. And the reason for that is having a mindset of the program is we want to do things. I look at that's never been done. That's kind of a mindset that we have. The program here, I think that's Jackie, first black athlete to play Major League Baseball, did things never been done, and that's a mindset that we want to have. And the state of the program is we're right on track with that, where we've been. If we look at the end of last year as the first year that we made the conference tournament, and that was a big step for our program. And the one thing I told our guys last year at the end of the year, the biggest thing that we gained was probably out of the whole season last year is we kept getting better and we worked and we worked. I mean, it's tough. The Southland is an extremely tough baseball conference. And we went into the last weekend, we could have finished tied for third or we could have finished 10th last year. That's how close and that's how good the conference is. And we ended up finishing 6th. So with that, but when the respect, I said the biggest thing we gained was probably respect throughout the conference. And that's where, it starts with that. And it showed that in the preseason rankings, we're ranked 5th. Coaches poll, SID poll, Baseball America has us ranked 5th. 1 point away from being 4th. So I know right then, and I may be wrong on this, I'd have to ask Steve East, but I think we had been ranked last. I know my 2 years, the coaches poll, SID poll, everything, every year was dead last. So we went from dead last, and of course preseason rankings are what they are, but it is a sign of respect, and we were picked 5th this year. And like I said, just 1 point under Stephen F., which was ranked 4th. So I'm proud of our guys for that and the effort, and a lot of it has how hard they played last year. But that was last year. And this year, though, is we got a lot of guys back. And as far as seniors, we have 10 seniors, and big portion, there'll be a lot of those seniors out there on the field. It's put in a lot of time. And as far as that, looking at our, when you start with baseball, first thing you always got to talk about, you got to talk about your pitching. The pitching, everybody knows it's you can hit all you want, but you got to have pitching to win. And we'll start on this weekend, Murray State on the weekend. We'll start Caleb McClanahan, a senior. We'll start him. He's from Wynne, Arkansas. He'll start on Friday night. Jeffrey Enlow will start on Saturday. Jeff was a big lefty. Baseball America in our conference has him ranked the 9th best prospect in the conference. And really, when you look at it, it'd be the fifth best prospect pitcher in the conference. Jeff will start on Saturday for us, and then Bryce Biggerstaff from Bryce is from Sherwood, Arkansas, played at CAC, and he'll start on Sunday for us. He's probably been our most consistent pitcher as far as that goes. And then Ethan McKenzie from Gravette, Arkansas, he's been outstanding also. We'll probably put him on the back end. As far as that go, him and Biggerstaff, we can't, so we feel good about our 1, 2, and 3. We feel good about our back end, our closer. Our concern right now, if you see a little stress on us, it's just we got to get to our closer, and that's where we're still working through some things, trying to figure out what arms can get us to that. So that's an area that we're still, I always said the hay's not in the barn, okay? It's not even close. And, baseball, our season's a marathon, so we're going to work through that. So if you come out and we get to the 6th inning, you may see 4 or 5 arms get through the 6th, through the 8th inning, till we can get to our closer in the 9th. I don't know how we're going to do it. It may be lefty on left, one batter, bring in a sidearm righty, bring in another lefty, bring in another sidearm righty, and just try to smoke and mirror that thing to get to that closer into the 9th. So, but there are some guys coming on with that. Young man from Conway, Connor McLean, has been outstanding. He'll be able to bridge that a little bit for us. He's 90, 91 miles per hour, 82-mile-an-hour slider. We've got a couple of freshmen, Taylor Wallace from Catholic, who's been outstanding. We also have Connor Gilmore, also from Little Rock Catholic, who I think those guys can bridge, and a couple other guys in there also. So I feel good about our staff. It's going to be unique, especially when we get towards the back end. You're going to see real soft throwing lefties, sidearm guys, hard throwing guys with sliders, and if we can just get to that back end guy. So but to get on that, and then like I said earlier, the defensive, I think probably the biggest strength on our team is if our pitchers will pitch to contact, they'll throw strikes. I feel really good about our defense. Michael Marietta Sr. will start behind the plate. Garrett Brown, the senior, will start at third base. Justin Treese he played at Sylvan Hills. He'll be our starting shortstop. Blake Marshall at second. Doug Violato at first. Of course, Forrest Allday and right. Jonathan Davis in center. Both of those guys were preseason first team. There's another thing. I'd have to ask Steve East again on that, but I don't think we've ever had a preseason first team. We had 2 of them. Then our starting left fielder, he's been hurt. He won't start this first weekend. Probably be ready for the second weekend. Ethan Harris from Whitehall, and he was the second team preseason all-conference selection. So all the outfields, that's we've got some good outfielders. We've got those 3. We've also got Nick Rougeau that lives in Conway that played at Catholic. He'll play a big role. Logan Moon, maybe the most talented young man we have. When he figures out the game, it's going to be tremendous. The talent level that he has, he'll be in the outfield. And then also a young man from Conway, Tyler Langley, who was quarterback on the football for Conway High last year. I mean, he's made leaps and bounds. I'm telling you, he's doing things that I haven't seen in a freshman. I haven't seen in a lot of guys. He's able to do some things that a lot of guys aren't able to do. The ceiling for him, the potential for him in 3 years it's going to be tremendous. And like I said, that's even with the freshmen. Going back to what I was talking about, the recruiting is when you look at Taylor Wallace and Brandon Schmidt from Little Rock Central, you look at Connor Gilmore, you look at Tyler Langley, you look at those guys right there. I'll tell you right now, if they're not drafted after their junior year, we did not do a good enough job. And if they're not, and I'm drafted in a good round, not just 40th round, but if they're not a good draft after their junior year, I'm just put it on the table right now. We didn't do a good enough job, or they're lazy, one of the two. Okay, because the talent's there. There's no question about that. And we're excited about them. And that process, and like I said, the state of the program is that's how we're working this. It is a process. And we decided the route where we're going to go with this is we were going to build this we're going to start in Arkansas and start centrally and then break out and then go from there and pick up guys from other states and everything like that. We have to do that. Next year, this year we'll have over 20 guys from the state of Arkansas, most of them in the 501 area code. Next year we'll have about 20 plus, and just in the area, the 501 area code. So we're starting here and we're branching out and we're finding those guys, and we're able to do that. And that's a credit to Coach Black working really hard on those guys. And then we'll pull some out-of-state guys. We have to do that. There's no question about that. Next year, the guys that we've already signed is probably the most athletic group of young men that we have signed. And so we're able, through hard work and everything like that, we're starting to get a different level athlete as far as coming in as to the program. And one thing like I said, our strengths, the defensive side of it, the one reason is, and this is going to help us on the offensive side of it also, is we've got really good speed on the field. Doug Violato, our first baseman, will run a 6'7", 60. Blake Marshall was a 6'5", 60. Jonathan Davis, our center fielder, 6'5", 60. Forrest Alday, a 6'8". Logan Moon's a 6'5", 60. Nick Ruggio's a 6'7". So we have speed all over the field. The guys that we've signed have a lot of speed. Tyler Langley's a 6'7" runner. He ran a 6'7" on scout day. He had a 102 fever. And that's going back to Langley. I like about him. He's tougher than a leather toe boot. I mean, he plays baseball like he's free safety in football. And so we've got the athleticisms there. Now we put it together, and we're building it the right way. There's no doubt. I feel like the process is working the way that it should, and I'm excited about our guys. Jonathan Davis, Camden, Arkansas. No one knew about him. Ended up, no one really recruited him. I actually signed him when I was at Southern Arkansas. And that was the first thing. I got the job here. Davis come with me. I told Coach Browning down there he's coming with me. Now don't mess with me on this, or I'll cause problems for you. And Davis came freshman of the year. You know, he's a freshman All-American. And the thing with JD is he's one of the top prospects in the conference. They have him ranked 7th, 3rd overall position player prospect. And I've had scouts tell me that he's the #1 prospect in the state for a position player, and that's even counting the University of Arkansas. Okay, their talent, of course, their pitching up there is incredible. But Davis is, I don't know if he is. I just know they're really high on him. I know if he has a good year, he's a junior this year. If Jonathan Davis has a good year, this will be the last year he gets to see him. He'll be playing pro ball after that. So tremendous young men, and all these guys are. So I'm excited, and we're excited about the season. If we can just get some guys to bridge to that closer, I'm going to feel even better, okay? Lost a little bit of sleep this week, but we're working through all that. Our schedule, of course, Murray State, we open up with. Next Wednesday, we go to Vanderbilt. Baseball America has them ranked 2nd in the nation. Then we have a 3-game set with Mississippi State. I think they're ranked 5th in the nation right now. Then we turn around after that weekend, we go to Southern Miss for a 3-game set. They're ranked 23rd in the nation. And then we get to start conference with Oral Roberts, which is one of the best teams in the nation. You know, it was when Texas State went out, I was, yes, Texas State's out of the conference. So how they reward us, they bring in Oral Roberts. So we'll open the conference with them. So, but we've got a tremendous, our schedule is 100%. It's a little bit crazy. But I'm one of these that believe that if we're going to, and I think that's helped us playing such a tremendously tough schedule. We did last year, we're going to do that continually, is we're putting ourselves on the field, eyeball to eyeball, you know, right there with some of the best elite baseball players in the country. That helps us to see where we need to go. That helps our players, and it's great playing in those type of atmosphere, but it also allows us to know it helps us get a different level athlete, figuring out what we need to beat them. Then it also can give us great confidence, because when we play well, like we did last year at Mississippi State, beat them 2-0, our players know they can play with anybody in the country. So our schedule's great, and like I said, we're looking forward to that for sure. But anyway, besides all that, does anybody have any questions about the upcoming year? Yes, sir.
Do your players still have to earn part of their scholarship cleaning up the stadium and all that?
No, there's no, as far as work study and everything like that, no. Now, we do have a group of young men when they get in trouble at times, and right now there's 7 young men, and we call them the Super 7, and we have some odd ins and out jobs for them to do, and there's 7 guys that got nothing too big, got a little bit of trouble, so we'll use them at times to take care of some dirty work for us. So, but any other questions? I'm not for sure. Dr. T, they're not in yet? Schedule cards? Okay. Okay, and we'll, okay. We look forward to having you out there. It'll be a good time. I think on Saturday we'll have a Little League team come out there, do the national anthem with us. Sunday we'll have first pitch and everything like that. We'll announce that later this week. But any other questions? Great. Thank you all very much.